finally we're home, chilling in Chinye's room, and of course, Madame the Madame, that's Igbo girl. She must just be the firecracker of her room. Don't touch this. Don't stay there. Ah. But if she comes to my room or Obi's room, it's a whole nother topic. She just put her hands anywhere, open whatever, take your food, take your drink. You know, I don't understand. Just a bully. Just a bully. But I don't even know how. 1 minute we're laughing and joking, but as much as that's my Amazon sugar banana, her demeanor is seeming a little bit down. So gotta find out what's wrong with her. This one that this one that you were so excited and joyful today, your whole demeanor has changed. Sorry, as you put it, this one where your whole body language don't shift. That won't even make you laugh, my K-leg pigeon.
It's funny.
What's
wrong?
wrong?
I never see you talk like this.
You just went from here to here.
It's just a story I was reading on Facebook, you know. Abusive relationship, abusive marriage, so to say. This guy and the lady, they've been dating for 3 years. They got married, and the man's mother visited. So when she left, I don't know what happened. Maybe she gave the son an advice or what. But according to the woman, she said the man changed his attitude towards her, the wife, and he started beating her. He's hard on her. He gives her attitude. He scolds her outside in the house, hits her in front of the kids, you know.
That's really bad.
So I just thought, I said, why all this abuse in marriage? Why? Because I know it's not just marriage, some relationships too. And comparing it to myself and my experience, I feel it's a no-no. I mean, why do men keep behaving like that? Is it that we the women is our fault or something?
Never.
I don't know. Because sometimes, according to some comments, some of them said, woman, you need to go check yourself.
Wow.
I don't know. Is it a woman's thing or
it's
a
not
man's
even
thing?
only, it's not even, funny enough, it's not even always, although predominantly, of course, we hear about male to female abuse, but it goes the other way too, you know, because abuse is not just about putting your hands on somebody. You know, there are people who abuse.
Verbally abusive.
Yes,
mentally.
emotionally, you know, so I was going to say something, but I'm like, let me not cut people down to size, you know.
No, but Z, make I tell you something. Me, no be say, for my own case, the man they beat me, no. So sometimes I'll tell myself, I wish saying a beating they do me for manage. But he didn't hit me. But his words and his actions,
So it's like mental and verbal abuse.
it killed the woman in me. You know at a point where you see somebody that's supposed to be your man and you're scared of his next move. He will laugh and you're scared of, oh, he'll soon get angry. What will he do if he's angry? Or you have something that you want to tell him, or a joke or a problem you feel you want to share with him, and you're scared of his response. You want to ask him for a favor or an advice, and you're scared of how he'll bring you down, put you down, or how he will abuse you with his words. And it will just make you crawl back in your shell. So is it that we just want to live? I don't know.
No,
because
Obi.
I feel so sad. I feel like going out with a big microphone and screaming, stop making women feel bad. Stop abusing us. Let us express ourselves. I feel sad.
No need, you know, because where you are now is much better than where you
I
were.
know.
So you don't have to,
I have put it behind me, but when I hear this, when I read this kind of stories, I feel like, wow, it's all coming back to me, and it makes me very sad.
It's about the personal. It's never the abusee. It's always the abuser
But
that
for
has the
me,
problem.
I feel like society in general needs to do more, because I remember reading very recently. I was actually talking about marriage. A lot of people feel, let's talk about sexual abuse, right? A lot of people feel like if you're married to a person, you're entitled to their body. You're not. If a person is not in the mood, they're not in the mood. If a person says no, is no. And it happens a lot that people get, raped in marriage.
I think it's because depending on what context you marry under, people take certain things out of context. Because there are, if you marry under, let's say, Christianity, there's certain vows that we make and say. There's even certain scriptures that, like I said, people like to interpret and take things out of context, and then they try to stand by that and say this is, but you're right, it's wrong, and it is taking a complete advantage and abusing the person.
Honestly,
but is it both ways? Because we do tend to make it very one-sided.
I don't, because you hardly ever hear that a woman told her husband, I'm in the mood, and he said no, and then
you don't watch Nigerian movies.
I haven't seen that movie.
Sometimes we make it as a joke. We'll be like, you must do.
No, but
you do this
but
thing.
it would, but that would be like her cajoling you to it. A guy, he would literally force himself on you, and it's just sad and it's annoying. And this topic is just really hard for me. Just as a person, it's very hard for me because something I'm very passionate about and something that actually really gets to me, because especially when oh God. Okay, so something happened recently and I went online and I started to read about abuse. And I found out that it's happening a lot. It's not even something that is happening to a few people. It's happening to so many people. Do you know they said 70% of the people who get raped are under the age of 18?
Yeah.
And 80-something% of them are actually raped by someone within the household.
Oh yeah.
So relatives.
Oh, I even thought we were just talking about relationships. So you're talking about abuse.
Yeah,
across the board.
Across the board,
Oh,
and
it's
that
epidemic.
happens so much, and it's just so painful because it's happening. Nobody's really talking about it.
No serious punishment
there's
for
no.
them.
As far as accountability, we already know in this part of the world is almost non-existent. But at least if you speak up outside of these shores, people do something. And I saw something on TV where some guy, I'm not sure if it was, I can't remember, I wasn't paying attention fully. I'm not sure if it's the man's son or in-law, but he killed the father.
Whoa.
I want to say in-law or yeah, maybe, I can't remember, something like that. Anyway, he killed the father, prosecuted, everything, going to jail for life. Turns out the father abused his 2 daughters. So I don't know if it was his sisters or maybe one is grown and was a wife. So I remember they were showing a clip of the man's brother. They're all older. The man's brother who was, expressing how upset he was about, his brother being killed by the nephew or in-law, I can't remember, and all that. They now asked him that. But when he found out, he now said when his niece said, this is what daddy used to do to me and my sister. In fact, the way that the man broke down on camera, imagine he was so conflicted because one, and you just lost your brother through, and now that, because the people were now, kind of, speaking up but I guess the law is you can't take the law into your own hands. But a lot of people are conflicted. At the end of the day, you killed this person out of that. This person abused and did all. It's
because
crazy.
Abuse actually does a lot of mental damage to you.
What?
A lot of mental damage, and that's what people don't know. People think it's just about something has happened to you, and it's maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago. People think you should move on from it, but they don't realize that there are just some scars that don't heal. They might heal, but they don't. Scars will always be scars. They would always be there. There would always be something that would remind you. And you have to be an incredibly, strong person.
Or have a very strong system.
Exactly. But the thing about the system
Support
is that
system.
when it's coming from the system, when the abuse is coming, because most of the time we
for?
all lean towards family and all of that. So when you're being abused by family, then, where would you turn to?
Draw from.
So, have you ever been in any sort of,
Abusive
relationship?
Oh,
Any
no.
sort?
Not at all.
Never?
Not at all. But I have a close friend who, she's, as far as physically, probably just a little bit shorter than Chinye, but she's way more stockier. I mean, she's an intimidating person, not the kind of person that you would be, feeling like you just talk to or handle anyhow. And the day we had a conversation about something, kind of like how when you shared with us, the day that she told me, and hers was physical. The day that she expressed to me that she had been in such an experience, it's almost as if I went through the experience, because the shock, it's one thing to hear it on TV or, read about it, but to have somebody close to you, to witness it through them and for them to tell you, especially for some reason, I don't know if you guys share the same sentiment. When we think about some types of abuse, you tend to think of older people. You don't tend to think of your mates or younger people. It just doesn't, like you said, that statistic said what? 70% are under 18. It happens in young people. So in my mind, I'm like, how does a young guy, why would you even put your hands and, why? Like, we don't think about, we're busy enjoying life. There's so many things to enjoy when you're young that, why are you so emasculated as a man that's the only way for you to feel like a man? And it really touched me. But I think the biggest misconception and problem with abuse is that it begets more, it's a cycle, it begets more abuse. When you start to look at it, most people who have been or are abusers will always have one story about their father or their uncle or whatever, and then that one will tell you their grandfather. It's a cycle. Then the women tend to either have watched their mom, watched their sister, so them too. Then the ones who, even if it's a fresh situation, thank God for, strength, but a lot end up in repetitive type, going after the same, because I guess like you said, it tears you down.
Yes.
So you don't even know how to look for a better person.
You just want to be in
go
your
to
shell.
the same kind of, you go look woman, you'll be like, how did you go from this to the next one to, Abia, do you have a signboard that says, please, waiting for abuse? But I guess, you attract what you feel.
Yeah, I do believe that. Law of attraction.
Obi, what's up? Have you been in one? Because I've never heard you say anything like this, so I need your opinion now.
Or maybe witnessed it, because it seems like it's very touchy to you.
Have you heard anyone talk about it?
I don't know how to have that conversation. I don't think I'm strong enough to have that conversation, because I've been through it myself. And
it's okay, baby.
It's okay. Don't make me cry.
That's why you are where you are now.
It's fine.
Sorry. When I was about,
Come on.
okay, so when I was 13.
You're gonna make us cry. It's okay.
Don't make me cry. Sorry.
I got abused when I was 13. And and it's just, I got abused by a relative.
Sorry.
And it's been like years, right? But it's just so hard, because it feels like it never really goes away. And I thought I had put it behind me, and I thought I was strong and I had moved on with my life. But recently something happened, and said person came around. He came visiting, and it just kind of made me relive every moment of it, every smell, everything. And it's just, don't cry for me. I can't believe you're crying for me. That's weird.
How we know we're sisters? Are you okay?
And it's just really painful, because I feel like I carried the guilt like it was something that I did wrong, and it's something I can never talk about. It's almost like this dark thing about you, and then it just leaves you really, really broken inside. And you smile, and you act strong, and you laugh, but there's just some pain that just never goes away. And it's painful, because for me it's more painful because it's happening every day. It's happening around you. There is somebody, that is going through it, and then we're just not doing anything about it. Like we put so much, you put so much responsibility on, you know, the person who gets abused. Like, you can't even talk about it without people looking at you a certain way. Do you know what I mean? So it's just so hard for me because it's something that I've never really been able to talk about. Just because I'm always afraid that once I say it, everybody's going to treat me differently.
Why? Nobody
But you
will.
know what? Guess what? How did you get to where you are now? Because you're one of the strongest people I know. I mean, you put together shows. You're out there. You're a boss lady. You're a boss chick. So we have to turn the sadness into strength for those people. So we need to talk about how you got to this point, and let that be the story, not the abuse, but the fact that you overcame.
Girl power.
And not just overcome.
Give me a high five.
You didn't just overcome, you know, like, oh, I'm okay now. You overcame and you made something of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you just take the pain, and you can either let that pain destroy you, or you can take the pain and you can be better. You can be stronger. You can take the pain and then just let it make you stronger. Because for me, I just didn't want to. I don't like to deal with. I decided to let the pain make me stronger. I decided not to be a victim. I didn't want to sit down and say, oh, this thing happened to me, because I noticed my grades, I started to have worse grades from that period onwards. I became very reclusive. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to deal with people because I grew up a church kid. And when a thing like that happens and all your friends are virgins and everybody talks about their virginity, and you couldn't talk about it. And it just made me feel like I didn't belong in church anymore. And it was like one of the toughest things for me. But I think after a while, I started to gain strength. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to make myself better, and so that I could look over my life and not let that one thing define me.
You said something that I think we need to address, is the fact that you weren't able to express yourself. And one of the main issues that we find now is that people don't have outlets. Your story reminded me, you asked me if I've ever been abused, and I haven't, because of, my personality, you know how it is, but I came close. But that's not even where the story was. I came close, and me, I was just like, hey, who you be? I got out of that environment. It was a friend's place that we always go do summer vacation with some other friends that also come. Family friend, and their own friends also come, and their uncle was one useless obviously useless man. Their uncle was one useless obviously useless man, and he would, he would make us go for long walks outside, and he's young and jazzy, and we all go. But I just noticed that some of his actions, you can be young, but you're not stupid. True. You might be a little bit like, but whatever doesn't feel right, doesn't feel right. So me being guy man, I'm like, something doesn't feel right. So quick sharp, I already entered my own house. What the part that killed me was one of their family friends that also would spend the summer or however long. She that was there, when I left, I had gone back to boarding school. Sorry, not Yankee, back to boarding school. We became very close. I didn't know her before, but we became close. This girl sent me a letter. She said when I left, this is how many years ago? I was like 13. She said when I left, what she went through. And that's another person too. Your height, your size, she was very developed. You just don't, she was like, it was hell when I left for her because I was her escape. And he was able to, that's somebody else's child. So that's exactly what, it reminded, but she had an outlet, even if it was through me. And I remember telling my parents one day, because I think they were talking, somehow there was some kind of communication. And like you said, my demeanor was off. And I don't know, one day I just said, don't mind, uncle, blah, blah, blah. Momsy is like, I don't know how the thing just jabber, honestly. We have to be able to encourage people. I don't know if you ever expressed, I didn't think so because of what you said about the recent events, because it would have been different, but that is probably for fear of what it might do to the nucleus. Yeah. But we have to encourage people you have to speak.
Speak out.
You have to.
Talk your own.
You must.
You're a
can't.
human being. Don't think of suicide or anything. Say it out. Let people hear it and attack the person.
Yes.
Let them be punished. They are not human. They don't be human. Na animals them be where they for inside bush. You can't do that to your fellow human being. Say no to rape and woman abuse.
Truly, I think if people learned to speak out, it would be different. I think maybe looking back, I think one of my major fears was, number one, my family. I didn't want to be the person. Yes, because I knew it was going to rip my family apart. I knew my father was going to kill him. I knew, you know, everything was going to be bad. So you're thinking uncles and aunties, and you don't want that to be the story of your family. Everybody will be like, oh, that house that the elder brother slept with the younger sister. Do you understand what I mean? So I didn't want that to be my family story. So even as much, I think I was more concerned with my family's image than I was with my own well-being. So I kept it inside. I couldn't tell anybody. I could never, you know, speak up about it, and it's really annoying and frustrating because you have to
internalize everything,
and then when it happens so close to you, you deal with it almost all the time. Until I went to university and then I didn't have to see him all the time. We literally grew up together, so it's just like a really horrible thing. And if I could give anybody any sort of advice, I would say please speak up. Don't let it eat you up. You don't have to carry that burden on yourself. No matter how strong a person you think you are, there is no reason for you to, you know, carry that burden and say, no, I don't want to talk to anybody because I don't want the stigma, or I don't want my family to fall apart. Like, it happened to you, and your happiness is just as important.
And you didn't ask, major thing, you didn't ask for that
to happen to you.
And nothing that, you know, something to say, why did you wear that skirt? Why did you talk to him that
13,
way? Like
I didn't even have boobs. I had nothing. So there's
always that.
You were attracted
why
to
did
me.
You. No, if I want to wear the short shorts, let me wear the short shorts. If I want to say, walk out.
But even as an adult now, I feel like irrespective of what I wear or what I say, not what I say, but irrespective of what I wear, it doesn't give anybody the right to my body. If I say no, it is no. Even if I start halfway and I get to a point and I'm like, I'm done, I am done. Yes. If you touch someone when they say no, it's rape and it's unlawful and people should be punished. But, you know, it takes you growing up and getting smarter to actually get to the point where you understand a lot of things.
Well, you know, I think we should definitely make it a point to, just because we had this moment tonight, it doesn't end tonight. You know that, and I think that's the thing with people, you know, oh, okay, maybe you tell a story, sure, and that's it, everybody goes about their business. No, you know, if anything, it's as it's come, maybe it's for us to be empowered to empower. So we need to take it upon ourselves to not let it just die. This is so heavy. It's so heavy. But it just y'all know me. So I'm laughing because I just heard the voices of my best friend. She's like, I've been your best friend for how many years, and I'm not sure I've ever seen you cry. She's like, you're always the strong one. You're always the rock. And I was just laughing because it takes a lot for me to get super emotional, you know. But it's for us to, I mean, it's not about us being, you know, walking around as advocates, you know, but everybody can be an advocate in a way. Yeah. So it doesn't stop here, you know. We need to, you know, as time goes on, think about maybe, even if it's on a small platform, how we can, I mean, we already are on a platform doing something about it. So, you know, let's share and empower.
Yeah, because that's the thing, a lot of people don't, help isn't always very available out here. You know, in other countries, you could go see a shrink, there are survivor groups and stuff like that, but I checked and I didn't find any, so I don't know if there is any out there.
I think they're creating a group now. There's this group against rape, against woman abuse, you know.
Yeah, most of the ones that I know are actually usually for married women who are in abusive relationships, like in an abusive marriage and stuff like that. But there aren't any groups that I'm aware of that talk about, yeah, you know, kind of like my situation.
So we don't have to check it. That's my point.
We can start one, right? Yeah, because the statistics are alarming. It means there are a lot of people in our neighborhood, you know, just around us who are going through the same thing. And I feel like if I had someone who I could talk to, or I felt like there's a place I could go to where I could, you know, feel safe and not feel like such a dirty, damaged person, it would have taken me, less time to heal.
So how far? I think tonight
I'm a black girl, I'll be fine.
So are we all sharing the bed, or are we all good? I think tonight we should just have our
like I really need
I don't want
hugs.
to go to my room. We're all going to sleep here.
Everybody go to your room. I need to sleep here, please. I need to sleep. I need to sleep.
Look, this is one time you shouldn't be me. Just hug.
I need
Why
to
is she this way?
sleep.
She doesn't know. She can't help herself.
I need to sleep.